Welcome into NASCAR Inside the Race. I'm your host, Steve Letarte, with my man Mamba Smith, who's decided to join me. Our normal host, who keeps the whole show on the rails.
Keeps the thing on the rails.
Alex Weaver decided to go ahead and get married this week, if you follow her on social media. So congratulations to Alex. She's off on a honeymoon, which I suggested the Roval. Yeah. I said this would be a good honeymoon, but she had other thoughts, so she's not here. So a lot to break down. Hopefully we're going to try to get SVG, the winner, to join us as well. We got Todd Gordon to come in and break down the chaos we saw today. Unbelievable race, chaos top to bottom. What do you make of just the overall race and SVG once again stamping his dominance at the road course?
Listen, though, he did stamp his dominance. He won by, 18, 19 seconds. He had at least that multiple times, but the field is getting closer, right? They are starting to apply some pressure, and you could hear it in his voice about mid-race. He did not have the fire-off speed that he wanted. The tire wear, the grip level was not where he wanted. And even in practice, Steve, when we were doing practice and qualifying earlier in the weekend, I was like, man, it seems like your car's doing everything you want. He's like, I don't know who told you that. This is doing nothing what I wanted to do, but it was doing better than the rest of the field.
I'm going to tell you, I want to congratulate Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell for putting the pressure on the 88, because in practice, this is no exaggeration, he was 1 to 1.5 seconds faster than the field on 10-lap tires. I thought this was going to be the 88 running off and hiding. It wasn't. It was a hell of a battle. They got a little chippy between the 5 and the 88, some pushing, some shoving. I loved what the 88 had to say after the race. He was like, hey, man, I hope he's not too mad. It was a lot of fun. I thought that's the type of racing I'm expecting to see. I thought it was an appropriate amount of pushing and shoving.
It was perfect, and we saw it on the restart about lap 57-ish. On that restart, we had the 3 heavy hitters that were dominating the race, and I think when Larson got in there and doored him, and then Shane, I was like in the truck. I'm in the truck with NBC and everybody hanging out, and I'm like, oh, gloves are coming off,
right?
Because Shane tells everybody, the minute you race him this way, I'm going to race you back that way. And that's exactly what he did. What did you think about the battle between the top 3 with Christopher Bell sticking his nose up in there?
I loved everything about it. And what I think I love the best is that they continued to fire at an advantage. So this was the moment that the 88 got into the 5, and the 5 just pushes and shoves the rest of the time.
Paint flying off.
Okay, so right here, right, he gets into the 5. The 5, I think what happened is I'm going to agree with the Larson's frustration here. I thought the move from the 88 was very late. He dove out. So now Larson, who has basically conceded the position of the 88 all day long, the 88 breaks down in here. Larson's like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, no.
We're going to drive in here side by side. I'm going to give you a little bumper here. And then they chase each other around to the front stretch. Now, Ty Dillon drives by, and he's like, let me just get out of here. I want nothing to do with what's getting ready to go on. And then it brings Bell back in the picture. What I will say is, like, Bell took a green flag. Like, they kept throwing a little bit of a Hail Mary, but they kept throwing things at one another, giving themselves a chance. I thought it was an unbelievable show at the front. Little things like that tire pack there in the front stretch chicane, I thought made a big change. The tire made a big change. But I want to put it a little in perspective. 36 years old, SVG is. 6 career win and 46 start, which is the fewest starts to reach 6 wins since A.J. Foyt, who also did it in 46 starts.
He was pretty good.
A.J. Foyt did pretty fine. Second driver to win 5 consecutive road course races. Jeff Gordon has won 6 from 97 to 2000. So, look, I'm out of accolades. I don't know what you want to say. I mean, the guy not only is really, really fast, his racecraft is very, very impressive. But I do want to say, so we talk a lot about being fast. We saw mistakes on pit road, mistakes eliminate Ross Chastain. What impresses me about SVG is that since he's running this car all year, so look, when you do something different, a portion of your brain goes to running what I consider standard operating procedure.
Yeah, default.
Right? Like when you and I sign our name, you don't have to think about it. Or if you're printing, you've done it your whole life, right? For him to jump in this car a couple years ago, he can absolutely drive, but getting on pit road, restarts,
the nuances,
brake adjusted. It takes more brain power to go brake knob, here, turn, adjust. Now that he's in this car every week, even at the ovals, I think it is his home office. He's getting more comfortable. And since that brain power of miscellaneous has kind of been dwindled, I think you're starting to see what he can do behind the wheel. His tire management is unbelievable.
That was the thing. And AJ Allmendinger was on DVC talking about it with those guys. They're like, why is SVG so much better? And AJ was like, well, I saw it firsthand as a teammate last year. He can manage the tire so much better than everybody else. But it's not only managing it, he doesn't lose speed managing it. It's almost like he picks up speed. You guys talked a lot about it on the broadcast. Down the backstretch chicane, he made entry speed
Yeah.
And didn't lose anything
Right.
through the middle, and then kept up off, and that's where he's just amazing with what he's doing with his footwork. And AJ was even like, if you look at his footwork, you think he's the slowest guy on the track. But that's just the way, I don't know, man. It's just, I think it's coming from the supercars and how they race and the tire management, which is what we do on the ovals, right?
Yep.
When
Yep.
you're short track
That's right.
racing, you learn tire management, and now he's starting to figure out that. Listen, he's 36, but he's a dog, and he's got
I
something
mean, if
coming.
we had practice, how close we'd be on the ovals. You know, I think
Yeah.
his advantage wouldn't be so good at the road courses, but I
It'd
think he'd be
balance
closer
out.
on the ovals. On the ovals. All right, we're hoping to get SVG. I think he's just finishing up in Victory Lane, so he's on tap. So I don't want to ignore this conversation, but just to move the conversation along, are you a fan of what we saw today? A lot of tire fall off. It didn't go to fabric like in Bristol. It just got hot, slick, slimy, and it was a big chaotic race. It didn't bother me as a fan. Were you entertained by the chaos?
So with us having the luxury of doing practice and qualifying and talking to the teams and the crew chiefs and watching the tires, we did see the wear coming into big effect, talking to some execs at Team Penske, and then Kim had a shot of the 20s right rear.
Get all the way to the
It go all the way to the fabric, and you're like, ooh, this is going to be interesting, because how is it going to manage when the rubber gets on the track? What is happening? We saw the rubber marbles. What'd you call it? The clag?
The clag.
The clag up in
That's
the
what
corners.
Hobbs actually told Diffie he was proud of me using it. The clag.
The clag.
I'm gonna ask SVG if he knows what the clag is. I bet he knows.
The clag, it'll suck your race car in for sure. But like, that's all we wanted, right? We want a tire that falls off.
Yeah.
We want guys to have to manage their race cars. We want some strategy. We want some beating and banging.
Oh,
Listen,
I'm
honestly,
gonna interrupt you because the winner's here.
Oh, hang on.
You don't let the winner
Let's
wait.
No.
The winner
Wait a
doesn't
minute.
wait. Let's see. Oh, there he is. SVG. You got Letarte and Mamba. Congratulations, my man.
Thank you.
Okay, you got to tell us just real quick. Was it as much fun as it looked? I mean, that battle with you and Larson. After practice, I thought you were going to run off and hide. And Larson and Bell, they stepped their game up every week. And this week they stepped it up. They put the pressure on you.
Yeah, it was tough. Started that third stage. I didn't feel the best, but then after the pit stops, the thing just came alive and we got better and better. And yeah, amazing. Whatever they did to the car, tuned it back up, and then we had speed over them for the last little bit.
Yeah, your tire management was outstanding. Your efficiency just on and off pit road. Real quick, now you're in this car each and every week. Does it feel like your home office? I know the ovals are a challenge because you're figuring that out, but just like the comfort of the car, the shifting, the brake bias, does it feel more standard and more normal since you drive it every week now?
Oh, 100%, yeah. It's being able to tailor it to my liking, all the ergonomics of the car, and then also the setup too. I've sort of tried to understand the car and what makes it work, and yeah, I think we've got it better every road course.
Shane, the way you race guys, right? I think you are the epitome of I race you how you race me. And the minute someone lays a bumper to you, I feel like the gloves come off and it's like, all right, we can race like that. That seems to be your favorite way to do it. Is that true, or is it just how it goes with racing these guys in the Cup Series?
Yeah, I gave Kyle a little bump actually. Well, they have it where I passed him at 7 or tried to, but I didn't try and hit him. I thought he was giving me room, and then on accident he just slammed me. So, but I guess that was fair, and then from there on it got a bit aggressive, but hopefully it was good to watch.
Oh, it was outstanding. It was one lap of an absolute drunken bar fight at like 1 a.m. And then instantly, like, the respect came back and was like, all right, I shoved you by, but you ran me back down, so I'm going to let you go the next time you get to me. I thought it was great. Talk about the day. We were just talking about the tire fall off. It was more, look, I've been in the sport since 1995. I have seen a lot of different things. This is going to be the highest tire wear as far as speed fall off that I've ever seen at a road course. Are you a fan? Do you like that style of it? Just give me the SVG approach of what we saw today. Is that like a thumbs up? What's the grade?
I think that's more on you guys. If it was good to watch, we should do more of it. But yeah, I don't really mind. It's a different challenge, different to going flat out every lap. You're kind of managing it. So yeah, I'm fine either way with whatever it is.
You guys seem like you're really comfortable, as you know. Steve was talking about racing the different types of racetracks and everything. Now on the road courses, when we come back to it, it seems like the competition is really trying to copy you, at least find a way to slow you down. Does it feel like iron sharpens iron, like you're getting better on the ovals because of them and they're getting better on the road courses because of you? Is that kind of what you're seeing a little bit?
I don't know. I don't think like that. I do just focus on the oval stuff really, and this stuff is just fun weekends for me. I feel like my ovals is where I'm getting a lot better and putting all my focus and energy into. So yeah, hopefully that's paying off. It feels like it is, and it feels like we are really improving there.
Oh, big improvements on the ovals. I've been watching it. I've been up in the booth since May, and I've seen it. Not just the finishing, but just like your positioning. It seems to be more natural, especially the aero situations on where to be. All right, help me. A 7-Eleven here is what time is it in Australia or New Zealand? Like, give me the time change because I'm not good with this. You think Diffie would have trained me on this by now? But Diffie's making no help to me.
I'm not sure. I'm in North Carolina, mate.
Yeah.
He
So what are your talk about the, normally we talk about a fan base, in other sports, like in American football, for instance, it's like, you get your support of your state. We see it on this show. Anytime you run well, we get this huge influx of viewers from back in your home countries. Do you feel that? Do you feel that either on social media or just a thing that you're supported by kind of a whole group of nations as you come over here and beat up on the American race car drivers?
Yeah, it's unbelievable the amount of people who support every week and watch NASCAR, and it's really humbling the support we get. And even this weekend, the amount of Kiwis and Aussies at the signings and stuff, it was really cool. So, yeah, hopefully representing well, and proud to be doing a good job for them.
I'll tell you, you're doing a heck of a job. It's a ton of fun to watch. We don't want to hold you up too much. I guess give me the outlook, right? You got Vegas, another high speed. Then we go to Dega, then we go to Martinsville, and we end it all at Phoenix. Like, what do you say? My producer tells me it's 7:15 a.m. in Perth. So there you go. See, I had a cheat. Someone told me where it is. So give me with the 4 left. You've accomplished so much. You don't have to accomplish anything else for this to be an amazing year. But just as you look at the final 4 of the year, like which one are you looking forward to? Where's the biggest learning curve? How do you stand with 4 to go?
Oh, all of them. The next 3 are all polar opposites to each other. So, yeah, look forward to keep the learning curve going. And the super speedways, I feel like I've gotten a lot better, but I haven't got a result there. So I'd love to get a good result at Talladega, and then Vegas, keep getting better at mile and a half. So, yeah, hopefully we have a good one.
I love it, SVG. It's good to see you. Congratulations,
Absolutely.
my friend.
Hey, man, listen, I was only fortunate enough to win 15 as a crew chief, so anybody who says you shouldn't celebrate, they don't know what they're talking about. If you need a permission slip to get out of the comp meeting tomorrow, you just let me know. Raise some hell and enjoy the night, man. Congratulations. Unbelievable drive.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't think the morning is going to exist tomorrow.
I love it. There you go. Race winner SVG joining us here on NASCAR Inside the Race. I think the reason why I could get behind it is because it's humility. Because he could easily pound his chest and be like, yeah, I'm unbelievable. They can't keep up with me here. But he isn't like that at all. Even in his interview when he said, I hope Larson isn't too pissed. What he meant by that really was that I do feel he's driving a little bit like a guest in this series, which I think he's earned the right to not feel that anymore. Yeah. But for me, he always gives the full-time guys the benefit of the doubt to not ruffle their feathers. That wins over at least my heart as a race fan, that he doesn't kind of cannonball in and think it has to be done a certain way. He's almost trying to blend in as he stands out with his overall speed.
Yeah, he doesn't peacock with the thing. Right. He races really hard, just like our fans are accustomed to seeing. And then he's like, man, that was fun. And it's like, yes, that was fun because it was great for us to watch. And you in the competition of door banging and bumper to bumper. That's exactly what we want to hear and see. And I love what my favorite part about that was? He goes, the ovals is where I'm working hard. This is just fun. This is where I'm back in my comfort zone. I love that. If he's getting comfortable on both, y'all better watch out. He's got something.
So it was a cutoff race. We eliminated 4. Poor Cindric came in a must win. Everything went wrong for Cindric. We lost the 2 23-11 cars. Bubba was close last week. Reddick sat on the pole. Neither really had fire. I thought Reddick had a chance today, a little bit of an outside chance. I think in my mind, both of them came down to just their regular season. But coming into it, it was going to be a points battle between Logano and Chastain. I think we got to hear from both post-race. Before we talk about it, let's hear what both Logano, who advanced, and Chastain, who missed out. Let's listen to both sounds.
Had that last lap back, what would you do differently?
I'd restart the whole day, Kim. For a Busch Light Chevy, Trackhouse Racing, they expect so much more out of me. And to speed on pit road, I got to go back. I went off the end of pit road and didn't turn. Thought I had more room and just trying to get to the yellow line and just completely started the downfall there, and then came off out of the pit stall and double clicked up into third, and just unforced errors, just terrible. So it's heartbreaking for almost 200 employees at Trackhouse, of our teammates, our ECR engines, everybody that makes this go around with Jockey and the Moose and Kubota. Justin hired me to carry this one car and to drive it and to be the leader, and I just completely unraveled our day. We definitely had the speed on the last lap. Yeah, I missed turn 7. I downshifted the first, slid the rear tires, and let the 11 by. So, yeah, not acceptable. Like, just completely, just completely unacceptable.
Unacceptable. How do you kind of come to terms with the mistakes that were made today?
Well, knowing that no one else had a hand in it but me. The WISE program gave me everything I needed. GM, Chevrolet, Trackhouse. So I can go to bed knowing that they're building me to be the best I can be, but I've got to make those right decisions in those moments where I'm not on autopilot, but when I come out of the pit stall, I'm just getting to my lights, and I pulled twice. And when I went to the end of pit road, I didn't turn because I wanted to get to the end of the yellow line, and I needed to just turn the wheel. It's really simple. So, yeah, it's terrible to get to this level and not perform. It's when you watch and you learn and you study for half your life to get here and to fail is a terrible feeling right now. And I will wake up tomorrow and go right back to work. That doesn't make it any better for our partners and for all of my teammates that are really upset with me right now. I know the 11's mad. I'm sure I would be too. He got by me clean and was giving me room, and he got by me clean, and I wiped him out. So just have to wake up tomorrow and go back to work, though.
Everyone was telling me how close it was going to be there, and gosh, what a man! Fans are. Is that me? Is that who they're booing at? Oh well. Hey, we're still in. We're still alive, baby. We're still going. I'm so excited. Such a close finish there, and yeah, I knew it was within a point there, and I knew we were going to be tied there at the end, and Ross was going to do whatever he had to do to make it happen. Just wasn't quite fast enough today with our car, but overall, man, it's the drama of the playoffs, right? If you want drama, the playoffs bring it every time. What an entertaining finish there, and to come down to, like I said, a tie there basically at the end before the wreck. So proud of Paul Wolf. Made some really hard calls today. 3 stop in the end there, kind of an audible there at the end. Just our fall off was a little bit too much. So making that call there at the end was ultimately what kept us there in the game with just a few left. So, as a championship performance from the team, wish I was a little faster, but overall, and I couldn't be more proud of the team, and we still got a shot.
Logano being booed. To break this all down before we keep going, let's bring in our buddy, Todd Gordon, who's back in the home office right there. Todd, how about your man Logano being booed? I say you're a guy because you work with him. I mean, you have those big championship trophies right over your shoulder there, kind of, standing up, kind of seeing me in the face.
That in the background?
Yeah, I saw that.
Right there.
What about the day? What did you make of, just give me your synopsis of the day, and specifically Paul Wolf calling for that third pit stop when he was in position, pulling his car out of position to put fresh tires on. How hard is that call to make?
It can be paralyzing. That's one where you're in a transfer position. They were +2 at that point, although they were 3 laps older on tires than Ross Chastain, where I think they came at 86. Ross came at 89. Ross got another run down pit road with his penalty, which that's an easier lap on tires. You don't have to go through that front chicane. But really, as Joey talked about, he was complaining about the longevity of his tires. So I think Paul stepped up, made the call that was the right call, and didn't let emotion fall into it. He knew what they were on the wrong side, although they were in a good spot. Going long was going to be a challenge for him, and made the right call to put Joey in a position where he wasn't playing defense on old tires, because we saw that. I mean, you would have called this race 25 laps for stage 1 and 20 for stage 2. You would have said that was a green flag run, and we split them in half. And so when you got to the end of it, I think a gutsy call, but the right call by Paul.
Todd, when you look at this finish for the one, and obviously we're just talking about Paul Wolf, they call him Big Ball Paul, and Team Penske.
I think Joey named him that.
Because it moves like that.
I like it.
It's because it moves like that.
Is that really what they call
That's
him?
what Joey called him.
Joey called him that.
Yeah, after they
I
won it.
I didn't know that was the case.
Todd, what was it, Nashville, when he kept him out and they got
Oh, he
on
ran like
6 miles?
7,000 laps on a tank of gas.
Yeah,
I remember
that's
that.
right. So when you look at it from the one standpoint, though, Todd, like, what do you, as a crew chief and a leader of your team, what do you tell Ross when you guys sit back on it over the night and over the rest of the year? It's like, it's the details, right? The details, you know what, you're a champion. It's those little details that make or break whether you move on in this deal or not.
Yeah, and I think the piece to the team, and we all heard Ross being critical of himself. Ross made 2 mistakes himself. He made a mistake on pit road at the yellow line, had to check up, cost him double-digit positions. They overcame that and scored stage points. That was impressive, the fact that they scored stage points in stage 2. I thought they were in a great spot, but then the double shift to third and the speeding penalty, that just buried their day in a position where I think Phil Surgeon had to make the call to just go long. He couldn't stay on the tire strategy with Paul at that point, and reacting afterwards is kind of put yourself a negative. I thought they made the right calls. I think Phil Surgeon has to look at his team and say, we brought enough speed to transfer. We just didn't execute. And not to name anybody out, but just say that we didn't execute today. And that's
but you can name some. So listen, I'm a big believer in this. It's okay. It's not an attack on a man's personality or professionalism. The simple fact is that they needed to be at their best, and they weren't. Ross Chastain wasn't at his best. Like, if we had a football team against another football team, I'm a Vandy fan. They went against Alabama. They fumbled in the red zone. They threw a pick in the red zone. Diego Pavia didn't play at his best, and they lost, right? Everybody can get okay with this. I think we're a little sensitive here because we have relationships with all these people, but simply not attacking Ross Chastain. But he did not give us Ross Chastain's best today. He made 2 mistakes that are outside the normal for Ross Chastain. They aren't round of 8 playoff driver that's the point. The point is the funnel is squeezing. Right, and if he would have driven a perfect race, normally we think about how fast and it's on the racetrack. He only happened to be on pit road, but the mistakes.
He could have overcome one.
He could have got one. It was the second mistake. Yep. It doesn't matter how easy it is. He didn't mean to do it. That's all fine and fluff, but I don't need cover. Like, Ross Chastain made a mistake, and for that reason he's eliminated, and thus is sports. The guy's an amazing talent, and he'll come back, but that's what he got eliminated by.
In that same team meeting, I'm going to have Ross Chastain sit next to me and say, we made mistakes. And then let him own it.
Totally agree.
Let him own it. Yep. I don't need to call him out because we've already seen it with the interview. He's in the dumps. He's going to own that. And if you build that right culture.
I like the interview, Todd. Like, if you're crew chiefing for him, I'm going to tell you, that interview makes my week, off-season, hiring cycle, everything easier. Because my driver stood there and just jumped in front of the train on national television.
Yeah. He that's the guy you want, right? Somebody who's looking inward, not looking to blame. He's looking inward about what I let people down with. So I think this team's, for where they were, for the kind of the struggles they had the first half of the season, Trackhouse as a whole, I think they've kind of turned the corner, become a little more competitive. The qualifying effort of the one team, they were 30th something, seemed like the first half of the season. Playoffs, they've been all top 10s. They've got a lot of positive things to build on, but you just got to set the stage that we've got to finish this one out and build for next year.
That's what I was going to ask you guys next is, we know where the mistakes were that didn't get it done. Yeah. But the turn of the year, they won the Coke 600, one of the crown jewel events, and they started to stack days.
I forgot about that. Think about the emotion of this track behind me, right? So here's what I'll say moving ahead, though, right? Here's what I'll say, is I feel like that Ross has been on an island with help at the ovals. I think Swartz has been a little off, and SVG's new.
Right.
Zilich coming on board, while he's going to learn a lot about this car, and look, I'm not saying Zilich should be expected to be unbelievable. I think that the foundation they have with Ross, Zilich, and SVG, I think they have the building blocks to circle around on, right? I just think they have a lot of good things coming.
I think there's a lot of good things, and it's not. It may not be. I think we'll see signs of it next year. It may be another year out. After Connor gets to be not a rookie anymore, and SVG gets to be third round around these racetracks. I think there's a lot of positive in the future for Trackhouse racing.
You got to also look at even their pit crew. Because, the pit crew on the one, they had all the pressure in the world, and they delivered all day long. So, when you talk about the team, it's the whole team. And
the 88.
And the 88.
That's two Trackhouse cars. I like what you're saying.
And the 88 group, they're expected to win the race. So, it's really don't mess this thing up. So, good for everybody.
So, check it out, Todd. Here we go.
He's got his little notes.
I got my notes. I got to study. It's okay. We have 8 drivers left. We have from Joe Gibbs Racing, Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, Christopher Bell. From Team Penske, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano. From Hendrick Motorsports, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Chase Elliott. Can I say, get ready? Buckle up? look.
So the
everyone's
three major
qualified.
organizations all have
Ooh,
one
boy.
car eliminated.
I'm going to tell you. And no offense. Okay, so look, I could have argued Reddick could have moved through, but he's yet to win this year. Okay, right? So, Bubba, I thought did a nice job. One, they didn't have enough playoff points. You mentioned it. We eliminated the one of the big three car. We eliminated Cindric and we eliminated Bowman kind of in the first 2 rounds. Man, I think if you look at just stats and if you gave him some sort of weight, like this has got to be a monster heavyweight round of 8. I mean, I know Talladega's out there, but I think these playoff drivers, other than Talladega, which something could happen, 0 doubt a playoff driver wins Las Vegas and Martinsville.
Aren't you glad you're not a crew chief having to call this round with Talladega in the middle of it?
I love it in TV. I'm like, woo, man, this looks hard.
Look, you look at it. I look at that whole thing, and I'm like, all right. So there's going to be at least 2 teammates from one organization is going to be in somewhere, at least.
Yes.
When it works out, right?
Yes.
When you look at Talladega, if I'm Team Penske, I'm excited because we're the only Fords in the game. That means everyone's going to be helping us.
Okay, so if I'm Joe Gibbs, am I saying the same thing because we're the only Toyotas? Or if I'm Hendrick, am I saying the same thing because we're the Chevrolets?
Todd, I'm a little nervous if I'm Joe Gibbs, just off of all the things that have been going on in the Toyota camp, like getting everyone realigned to make sure we know what the goal is, and the Team Chevy thing. I think there's so many.
Can I jump in though? I'm going to tell you something. Yeah. I'm so sick of team talk.
Yeah. Here we go.
So here's what I mean by that. Like it was Gibbs and Denny, and then it was owner Denny hitting the 23 car, right, and all this stuff. I just want to say that I do, look, they're teams and they're going to do all this stuff, but at the same time, we need as selfish race car drivers as possible because the group is too tough to think I'm so good that I'm going to get through and I'm going to bring you with me.
I can pass it off to you.
Right. Now look, there's going to be coin flips at Talladega where you're like, who am I going to go with? This guy. But I'm crew chief for Dale Jr. and Jeff Gordon. And we used to have those meetings. They would all talk about working together. And they would both be like, hey, man, I'm going to do the best. But if I can't help you, don't worry about helping me. Like, they were both very selfish, which is why they were so good at what they're doing. So I do think there will be opportunities to help a team. But, man, I want to see, like, the best of the best line up. Like, I'm okay if they're beating and banging within the organization.
And that's what we get this weekend at Las Vegas.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's either side of Talladega is going to be phenomenal races. But one, because everybody fears Talladega, so go win at Vegas and just show your pure talent and ability. Or when you come out of Talladega, it's the must-win that Martinsville can be. And where that goes with everything. I think all 3 can be interesting.
Todd, when you look at it and you go to Vegas, you better be bringing your trick stuff. Like whatever, I feel like Vegas is your championship race, just like is championship A1 or A1B.
I've always said that the second most important race of the year to win is the first race of the round of 8. Because then you get 3 weeks to work on Phoenix.
Yep.
And now you don't have to worry about Talladega. I mean, this is the race. You want to come out of here. You want to come out of here with a W.
At the same time,
with the pressure removed.
At the same time, don't leave Vegas with a big points gap to where you are stressing at Talladega. Like, you need to leave Vegas feeling good so when you go through Talladega, if things happen, right, Martinsville, we can still point our way in. If you're in a must-win situation, and someone's going to be. They always are.
They always are. Someone's going to make a mistake. And I think that's like the vice being turned up. I think you get pushed into mistakes, right? Like sometimes they're like a what's the word I'm looking for when you make a mistake? Like nobody pushed you into it, right? Some are
unforced errors.
Yeah, unforced. Thank you.
Yeah.
So look, I've been on TV a lot today, man. It's just not quite all there. But like sometimes it's an unforced error, which is I think what makes the one's issues today so painful.
Yeah.
Is they were like what they do is really, really hard, and I think he's going to beat them up because they're unforced errors, right?
Yes.
But to your point, hey, can we get the points, D-Lo? Can you show us all the points to get? Because I don't really know what the reset looks like. It's been so quick since I've been off air. I probably have them in here.
Yeah, you have it, D-Lo?
I don't have the reset.
Sure.
I've got the 11, 12, 5, and 24 above the line.
All right, so I have the 11. Is this right? 11, 8 above, the 12, 6 above, the 5, 4 above, the 24, 4 above. So interestingly enough, instead of somebody being very comfortable above, it's the 22 who's 24 below, then the 9 and the 9. The poor 19. Chase Briscoe's done about everything right, man. He's 14 points below. I mean, that's got to be a vote. That's got to be a little. Oh, here we go, right here. So we have Hamlin, Blaney, Larson, Byron above, Bell barely below, and then Chase, Briscoe, or both Chases and Logano have some points to make up.
Yeah, I mean, so Briscoe, at least they can lean on.
Does that shock you? It shocks me a little.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing with Briscoe and that group, they weren't hitting on all cylinders till halfway through the year. And then they really rocketed for the last, 10 into the playoffs, and they've kept that steady
So here's
up.
the thing. First year at Gibbs.
Yep.
I think it was an acceptable like to your point, they caught the rocket. It could have took a whole year.
Yeah.
Is that fair? I mean, I think it would give them a few weeks to get going.
No, I think that's fair, but Todd, I'll say this, like, when you look at when drivers, high quality drivers change to a new team, and there's a lot of excitement and new energy injected, it seems like that first year is special. You look at Matt Kenseth when he went to JGR for the first year. You look at when Kevin Harvick went to Stewart Haas for the first year. Like, even when Tony left Gibbs and started Stewart Haas, that first year, it seems like there's a lot of speed and it's a lot of excitement. A lot of times they don't win the championship that first year, but they're in the mix. So, but for him, he was coming from a place that no one expected anything from him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that was
and
big
I think
for him.
one thing that everybody doesn't understand, I've talked to Chris Gapard about this whole 19 team in depth, and there was more than just a driver change here. I think the engineering support changed up. There was a lot that kind of changed in the background of this program, and it took them half a year to kind of get rolling. But what are they, 7 poles this year? I mean,
7.
They've had speed. It's incredible. And they put themselves, I mean, they've been a factor in most of the playoff races. It's impressive what they've been able to do. They got to dig out from being down in the hole again.
All right, Todd, you're going into the round of 8 with any one of these race teams. Shake your crystal ball, your magic 8 ball. Is this going to be a round of fireworks where we see playoff drivers just continue to fill in the top 5? Or is this going to be a round of mistakes, and if you avoid them, it's enough? Like, how would you be coaching the team?
I think the Talladega becomes such an outlier to me that anybody could win, and we may not have a playoff winner because playoff guys may become a little conservative at that point and want good finishes because of the point situation and leave the opportunity. And if that is the case, then we're talking about 2 points positions that transfer in the Final Four. So I think Mamba hit it. You're going for it this weekend. I think you've got to come out. You're bringing your best stuff forward to Vegas. This is by far the race you want to win as a crew chief. But you've got to, if you can't win it, you've got to come out with everything everything you can to stack yourself forward for the playoff run, because I don't know that Talladega comes out with a playoff winner. So I'm looking at two points transfers here.
If I'm looking at it, I need to keep that 22 out of the Final Four.
This is eerily similar to last year, isn't it?
Do not let Joey Logano in.
Are we clear with Tech yet? Boy.
Listen, because Brittany Logano yelled at me in Victory Lane while they were celebrating their 3rd championship last year. She got her finger in my face and said, "Don't you ever count out Joey Logano." I said, "Yes, ma'am." And I'm telling you what, they let him in. They let him slide in. Him and Paul Wolf. I know it's usually he wins on the
even years.
Even years. So we're on odd
He's
years,
never made a championship 4 on an odd year.
What kind of damn stats y'all coming up with around here?
I was his crew chief. I went through this for many, many years. We made it in 14. We didn't make it in 15. 16, 18, 20, 22, 24.
All right,
Maybe
I like
break the jinx.
Maybe
I'm telling you. Real quick, what else should we? This wasn't on the script. Let's talk Kyle Larson. So I'll be the guy that jumps on the grenade here. Something changed. The team. So I don't know the details, nor is it my point to share the details. But Cliff Daniels kind of made a statement last week about the team has been through more than the world knows. And I think he alluded to everything, right? There's been health challenges. There's been this. There's been that. Like internally, you and I know how many people it takes to make a team work. So we didn't ask the details. I don't think they owe us the details. But I think there's been personnel movement for a lot of reasons within the organization, right? They're through that. So I guess I wasn't aware of that, and maybe that's some of the slump, because there was a real slump. Whether we want to believe it or not, the 5 had a slump.
It was a slump.
Now, I know he didn't win. He didn't come back and win. But the last
He looks like Kyle Larson.
Yeah,
That eye test.
It's
That eye test is starting to pop
was
up.
like, oh, like if Larson won at Vegas, and that was 4 weeks ago, I'd be like, hell, where'd he come from?
Yeah.
Now I'd be like, yep, we saw this one coming. Is the 5 starting to get their feet back underneath them? Is that real?
Yeah, I mean, the eye test says that. The fact that the fact that he raced Shane as hard as he did and laid it back to him, like that was like, oh, okay.
I loved it.
There's
Knowing the
that,
inevitable too, because
that
it was
fire
coming
is in
either
there.
way.
It was more of a one lap of principle.
Yeah.
It was, I know you're coming by,
but it
you're
was a
not doing it
statement
this
that
way.
I'm back to race for wins.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I
All
think-
right,
look, you got
fire. I got the whole result.
Yeah, you got the whole result. One car that, if I'm going to be on TV, I might as well talk about him. The 12.
Yes.
The 12.
Who drives the 12?
Ryan freaking Blaney. I'm telling you, man.
If you guys don't know,
I'm telling
Mamba
you, man.
and Blaney are like bosom buddies, man. They've been friends since the beginning of time.
Yeah, forever.
There's
since
some
I've been
great
here.
pictures of them, from a long years
The
ago.
Halloween. We're in
Youthful
Halloween.
pictures.
Yeah, there's some.
So go ahead. I know he's your best buddy.
Listen, man. He's been toting the flag for Team Penske pretty much all year, and
No
Agreed.
argument from this camp. No
Agreed.
argument at all.
and they've been better.
Every driver
this
we
year.
talked to at the beginning of the playoffs, we kind of asked them all when we do our TV meetings. We
Yeah.
say, hey, they were all like, man, that 12 car, a lot of speed.
They don't get
he's-
enough credit, but they are. But the most dangerous one on that list, I said it earlier when the playoffs started, the 19. I think he's the most. I think that team is the most dangerous team because they have speed everywhere and can win anytime.
What I love about the 8 we have is, I can make a case for kind of all of them. I guess
Yeah.
Chase Elliott, I know he just won last week, so maybe that swings that as well. I think they all, like I said, I think we have a stacked group of 8 for sure.
Todd, William Byron won the regular season championship with a race to go.
Yeah.
He gave up a whole month worth of racing, and in 6 races, he had 4 finishes outside the top 25, and still won it with a race to go. The 24
yeah.
can turn it on.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is. To Steve, to your point, we could make a case. You could drop any car number, and I could make you a case for how their path takes them to the championship 4 and where they get to in there. Mamba, I agree with you. I mean, Ryan Blaney's one of the 3 most talented drivers in the garage. I think the 2 most talented. Just incredible. He's incredible talent, and he's matured into it. It's been phenomenal to watch him do that. But as you talk about, we could make it for anybody. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, William Byron, any of the Gibbs guys. I mean, Denny could have a comeback. This is just like Denny to turn it on at the round of 8 and see where that takes him forward. And 3 very unique racetracks coming up in this round.
Let me ask you guys this.
Yeah.
I know we're looking at this season. When you look to next season, guys that kind of fell out, who do you think slides into this top, the round of 8 next year that missed it this year?
I think that Tyler Reddick, between what's happening with 2311 off the racetrack and the courtrooms, and we've just learned over the last couple weeks this super unfortunate news that he has this health challenge with his second child. I think that Tyler Reddick, he's the one to me that just has just the raw firepower. When I see a guy behind the wheel, man, he just does a lot of things that are very, very natural. I'm shocked that he's winless this year. So if I had to have one guy who was bumped out that I think could make the round of 8 next year, I think Reddick would be my obvious choice, just because I just think, man, I'm a little shocked. Not in the circumstances. So when I look globally of everything he's dealing with, I completely understand it. But if I look at just the race car driver, which is unfortunate, but sometimes as an analyst I have to put the lens on of just being a race car driver, he's so talented that it's just such unfortunate circumstances that I think are clouding his weeks.
Yeah.
I think he's the one that I think could make the round of 8.
What do you think, Todd?
Yeah, I could agree with Steve on that one, but I mean, I think you got to look at the first one eliminated. I think Ross Chastain, as Trackhouse has kind of, we talked about it a little bit earlier, as they make their transition to where they go to next year. I think they're continuing to mature their way forward. I think Ross was a championship 4 contender a few years ago and finished second, I believe it was. So I think Ross could be added to that list. I agree with Steve, though. Tyler Reddick, especially once all the background noise gets quieted down, I think that'll help them focus forward.
Bubba might say one set of corners and he was it.
Well, I was going to go. I'm going with Bubba.
I think that's a great call.
I mean, again, one set of corners at
Yep.
Kansas. He's in it right now, winning at Indy. Charles Denick has done a great job. That group is focused, and I think the way that they missed out this year is just going to throw a couple more logs on that fire, and they're going to be fast at the beginning of next year.
Well, I'll be in trouble with Weaver if I don't go to any of our official segments. I think I've skipped everyone we're supposed to do. But the one that she does at the end of every pod, and I do appreciate it, is just weekend winners. We talked a lot about the playoff guys. Nobody's off the rules, though. The rules are open. SVG wins, Larson second, Bell third, Buscher, McDowell, Priest, Suarez, Elliott, Allmendinger, Reddick top 10. Todd, a weekend winner. Anybody you want to talk about from the winner to the playoffs to somebody we haven't mentioned? Is there somebody that we've skipped over, or is it somebody we've already talked about that you want to give a spotlight on?
Well, it's so hard to look outside of the playoff guys because there's such a cutoff race and everything else. But to come back and continue, I think I want to just I'll go back. AJ Allmendinger.
Came across the line backwards, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They're doing great things and continuing to work forward and did a fabulous job. Another top 10 this weekend. I think great momentum.
You got a winner?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Goodyear.
Okay.
Great call.
Because Goodyear has started, they've really starting to hit their stride with the tire combination at these different racetracks. I think one thing that gets overlooked is as we're learning this car and the teams are changing their setups, Goodyear's the last one to know what type of setup they're getting.
Yeah.
Right? So they're the last one. So they're trying to beat the hackers to the hack.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? That's a really hard job, and they're really doing a good job of giving us something that we've never had before, or that we had in the past but never had with this car. And if the tires aren't right, guys, if the combination of the tires aren't right, the car, no matter how good it is never going to go. So they're doing a great job for us.
So I got a random one. We've talked a lot about Trackhouse, and this name's kind of been left off the list. We talk about playoffs and all of these things. Well, Daniel Suarez, driving the 99, isn't coming back to Trackhouse. He has yet to announce his plans. So I just want to remind everybody, if it's unfortunate, if anybody's ever lost their job, right, that, like, to your world, that's everything. Mm-hmm. So Daniel Suarez, who as far as I'm aware, is yet to be employed for next year, or it has yet to be announced. Mm-hmm. Yet he found a way to finish 7th in this race with only a handful of races left with Trackhouse. That relationship could sour very easily or very quickly. I have yet to see any of that souring. 88 won the race. You have the one back here in 21st. So I have to give the weekend winner to Daniel Suarez in the 7th position, right? I think that was an impressive run. So I think that was the weekend winner. So Todd, we're going to let you go. We appreciate you dropping in. We had SVG as well. It was a good time, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. Great weekend, and looking forward to the next round.
All right, I love it. Any final thoughts on what we saw here today?
Yeah, I think one of my final thought is I hurt for Kyle Busch.
If there was a weekend bad luck guy, he would be in.
I physically hurt for Kyle Busch because I want him to win so bad. I've never wanted someone to win so bad in my entire life because I think the grandstands will erupt when Kyle Busch makes it back to victory lane. I think he will before he hangs it up. They got a lot of movement over there at RCR. I think they just need the year to end. I think Jeff said it. He's just looking for this season to be done and then to reset next year. So KB, keep digging, big dog.
I like it, my man. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Weaves, you better be watching. Congratulations on the marriage. Alex Weaver will be back. She's not going to leave us on our own for very long.
You can see why she's here, and we can't do that.
Absolutely. But listen, the round of 12 is complete. 4 have been eliminated. We now have 8 drivers heading to quite a mix of racetracks: Las Vegas, Talladega, and Martinsville. Look for your Inside the Race content all week long. Remember, we're putting out some midweek content where we break down some of the races in more detail looking back. We break down some of the races looking forward. And as always, each and every race day, as soon as our friends on the network go off air, jump right on here on YouTube and join us on NASCAR Inside the Race, where we break down what just happened. Give us your comments. Let us know how you think we're doing. Appreciate you checking in.
Go Pats.